welcome to another edition of NIMASA Podcast. It's still part of our New Year edition 2026. In this edition, we'll be talking about budgeting, financial management, especially in the year 2026, as it's still a very new year. I know that many of you are still planning your finances, how to spend your money in the course of the year, and of course, to also tell you about the right investment to avoid all these, schemes that, get away to cut away with our monies. And then to talk with us is one of our financial experts in the house in NIMASA. Her name is Stella Anyawu. Stella, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Femi.
Yeah, thank you. So, Happy New Year, Stella.
Happy New Year to you too.
All right. So, now talking about budgeting, because at the beginning of every year, people have, different plans and all that. Now, can you talk to us about budget? How do people budget their finances for the year to make it sustainable?
That's a good question. How do you make budget sustainable? Number one, there's always the cry of the money is never enough. So to be honest, it's never enough. So in the light of the fact that the money is never enough, you need to have a budget. Now, what's a budget? I'm going to earn, for instance, 200,000. What am I doing with this money? I write it out. The importance of writing it out cannot be overemphasized. It's either you're writing it on a paper. Some people have jettisoned the idea of using pen and paper now to write anything. Or you can have, like our stylish and the new phones we have now, pads on your phones where you can jot down what it is you want to do with your monies when you come in.
Okay.
Now, the whole purpose of that is that once the money comes in, you are able to look at what you have there and follow it. If you don't have a budget, you spend the money recklessly. It has happened to me. A time when I felt, okay, it was free money. It just came in and I couldn't even pinpoint to one item I used the money to do. So budget is key. Very, very important.
All right, very good. Now, still talking about budgeting and financial management, right? Sometimes we Nigerians, should I say, in the bid to invest, we have different kinds of investment schemes. Put XYZ here and then you get XYZZ, at the end of the whole day. Now, what's your advice to Nigerians about this, getting into this kind of scheme that is not actually sustainable? I know actually you find that people that introduce you to this scheme sometimes, maybe they're the first beneficiaries. They probably put in some money, they got something back, and then the longer the scheme gets, at the end of the year, they hear that they've been swindled, right? Yeah. So how do people, avoid these kind of things, all in the name of investing their money?
Okay, well, for me, investments should either be handled by financial institutions, only financial institutions, to be honest. Financial institutions that have stood the test of time and that can be trusted. Now, get-rich-quick schemes, that's what they are called.
Exactly, yes.
You put 500 today, you get 50,000 tomorrow, and everybody is running there. Now, for those who normally introduce people, funny enough, they cash out at the early stage. Yeah. Immediately they recouped their monies, they run out, and they don't tell those who they've brought in. At the end of the day, people lose their monies, their savings, their hard-earned investments. You have people that take their retirement benefits sometime and throw it in there, and then the end story is that most of them have lost their lives along the way. So it's a really, really bad thing. So my advice is this. If you have to do investments, which we always advise as finance people, that you don't spend all your money, you don't consume everything you make, you need to save, you need to invest. Do with trusted hands. Now, what do I mean by trusted hands? We have banks over the years that have shown a track record of doing well. If I, for instance, want to do an investment, I look at what has this investment done over the period of time.
Yeah.
For instance, FGM bonds and treasury bills, they might not give you huge amounts of money because of the amount of money you are putting, but your finances and your money is
safe,
virtually 100% secure. Now, banks will tell you that no investment, your capital is not 100% secured, but over time, even you as an investor would observe that over time, there are some securities you can invest in, and there are some you shouldn't go near. So for me, I always advise people, if you don't have too much money, a treasury bill, for instance, with the federal government is as low as 100,000 naira. FGM bonds is from 500 upwards. So if you do those, you're sure of your money is safe. Nigeria is still in existence. As long as Nigeria remains in existence, the money is still safe. It's only when Nigeria ceases to be a sovereign entity that those monies would disappear. So for people looking into investment, those are good options. But doing this get-rich-quick schemes, to be honest, it's a heart attack that is waiting for you in the future.
All right, thank you so very much. Now to talk about, people that, let's say you talked about free money earlier when you were talking about people just get some free money and all that, and then maybe because of this kind of free money, it makes people live above their means, right? Now, for people that live above their means, they end up getting broke, right?
Yeah.
And then they run to the bank for loans. Would you like to talk about these two together? Now, living above your means and then running on loans that are unnecessary. So unnecessary in quotes, because some loans are necessary, right? You agree with me?
Yes, I agree with you.
Yes.
Some
So
loans
can
are
you just
actually
speak to this?
Okay, living above your means is a big issue for people. Those that work in the bank most times will tell you they don't spend their monies, they borrow from the bank, and then it's when the bank suddenly terminates their job, they get to know that, wow, they're actually broke. Living above your means is an issue that we all need to address. At some point in time in everybody's life, you aim for something, you desire something. Everybody wants to drive a brand new car.
Okay.
There's a pleasure of it. But you look at your finances and it's not enough. So you are able to manage yourself in what you have. Now, if you decide to live above your means, you'll find yourself running to the bank, like you rightly said. And to be honest, bank loans are not advisable. I worked in the bank. Even as a banker then, our interest rate was, I think, 6%. It was a one-digit figure, but even that 6% was high for us. So I knew what it took for me to pay back those loans when I took them. So after I paid the last one, I vowed never again to go near a bank, except it's for projects. Now, if you have a project, for a project now, you would have drawn up a plan. For instance, you want to build a 3-story building that you want to use as real estate, commercial purpose.
Okay.
You know how much it's going to cost you. You know how much you intend to make over a period of time. If you plan it, you get the loan. The money you're making from the house, for instance, from the property, would pay off the loan over a period of time.
Good.
Those are the kind of loans that would advise people to take. Loans for properties that are for investment purposes, that will yield income, not to go and borrow to buy a car. Some people may say, no, that's not the right thing to say. How do I now get a car if I want a car? A car, to me, is a necessity, right? But at the end, it's also a liability. It's not going to generate any revenue for you, especially if you're just driving it for luxury purposes, take it to work, drive to. So you're not going to be getting any money from it, except you tend to use it for commercial purposes. For instance, those that are into the
boats, Uber,
all those businesses, haulage and what have you.
Yeah.
Those kind of businesses, you can take a loan for them. But something that is for your consumption, like some of our people that go and borrow money to do parties and what have you, there's no return on that money you've borrowed. You've only just leveraged, you've only brought yourself more pressure on the resources that you know are not enough.
And of course, to just probably please the society.
Yes. That's where the living above your means comes in. This my friend has his children in this particular school. My kids must go to that school. That kind of stuff. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know how much he's making. You don't know the businesses he's involved in. You only know about yourself. So we should all learn as much as possible, as difficult as it is sometimes, to live within our means. Cut our coat, as our people say, according to your cloth now, not your size anymore. Because if you have half yard, you have to find something to make with that half yard. Maybe it can only make you a short skirt. Then you look for another top to wear on it. So we just have to know how to manage to live within our means.
So finally, what's your message to Nigerians for this new year? And of course, regarding planning their finances and budgeting right.
My message is we should try and stay healthy, eat right, spend your money wisely, and make wise investment decisions. Someone was said that being a salary earner, you should not have only one source of income. You should have things you can do. For some of us, we can't do any other job. So our only option is to have investments, savings. Don't just let your money sit down there without doing anything. There's treasury bills, there's FGM bonds, there's fixed deposit. You may say, the money is small. You say 100,000, you may not give me up to 10,000, but it's something. Instead of leaving the money sitting down in there in your account. Once that money sits in the account, as far as I'm concerned, it happens to me. I don't know if it happens to other people. Something will definitely come for it. There will be something that will come up for it. So tie it up, invest it. That way you earn some extra income. So you have some investments that pay monthly.
Yeah.
Depending on who you talk to. For those kind of investment, you need to talk to financial advisors. You have some investment that pay monthly. You have some that pay quarterly. You have some that pay biannually and what have you. Depending on what you can do. But this is not a year to be reckless with our finances. This is not a year to go headlong into without planning. You need to plan. You need to know what it is you want to do in 2026. Write it out. How do I intend to achieve it? Break it down month by month, month by month. Sometimes you need to break down week by week or day by day. But have a plan. let's not run into 2026 without knowing what it is we want to do. There is a need to plan, and our finances need to be planned. Also taking into consideration the new tax laws. So right now you need to be vigilant. Monies cannot be spent recklessly because government is waiting to come and collect theirs at the end of it all.
Thank you so very much, Stella Anyawu. It's been nice speaking with you.
Thank you for having me.
And to our Nigerians out there, she said it all: spend wisely, invest wisely. It's not a year to be reckless with your spendings. Mind the way you spend. Yes, we know the economy might be, not too favorable at times, but then still mind where you spend your money. Invest in the right investments, not the money, make quick money investment that at the end of the day they runs into high blood pressure, and then eventually some people even die, when they make wrong investments. I should also say you should eat well. That means you should live a healthy life. So it's a wrap on this segment from the stables of NIMASA. We are still wishing you a happy and a beautiful new year. Thank you very much. See you again next segment. My name is Femi Kumuyi.